Welcome. This is a series on trigonometry and we are starting with simplify. This is part 1. Cos of 180 degrees minus theta multiplied by cos of 90 degrees minus theta all divided by sine of 90 degrees plus theta is multiplied by sine of negative theta minus 180 degrees. I usually replace my theta with an angle of 30 degrees to check my answer. So let's do that. On our calculator we have division, cos of 180 degrees minus 30 degrees. So I just replaced theta with 30 degrees multiplied by cos of 90 degrees minus 30 degrees all divided by sine of 90 degrees plus 30 degrees close multiplied by sine of negative 30 minus 180 degrees. So the answer that I get is -1, right? So this means that at the end, after simplifying this, I need to get -1. So this is for checking. We have 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270, but we don't use it in caps. And then we have 360 degrees. So in this quadrant, we have cos theta as a positive trig ratio. And in this quadrant, the first quadrant, we have all trig ratios. The second quadrant, we have sine theta. The third quadrant, we have tan theta. So whenever we are dealing with angles, we always start from 0 degrees and then we move anti-clockwise or counterclockwise until we complete a cycle. When we get to 90 degrees and go beyond it, we say we are going beyond 90 degrees. So that is 90 degrees plus. But when we start at 90 degrees and go below it, we have minus 90 degrees. When we are at 180 and we go below it, we have -180 degrees, and when we are at 180 degrees and go beyond it, we have plus 180 degrees. I'm not going to deal with 270 because we never usually use it to reduce our angles. So after completing one cycle, whenever you are at 360 degrees and you want to go beyond it, so we say we have plus 360 degrees. And again, whenever you have completed your first cycle and you are at 360 degrees and you want to go below it, we say we are subtracting 360 degrees. So this is a lot of stuff. So I usually just memorize these parts because they are the most important ones. And then I just simplify this diagram into this cast. So we have cos being positive in this quadrant. All trig ratios are positive. We have sine and we have tangent. So I know that in the first quadrant I have minus 90 degrees. In the second quadrant I have plus 90 degrees and minus 180 degrees. Then in the third quadrant I have plus 180 degrees, and in the fourth quadrant I have minus 360 degrees. And again, for the second revolution, in the first quadrant I'll be having plus 360 degrees. So let's simplify our problem. We have cos of 180 degrees minus theta times cos of 90 degrees minus theta all divided by sine of 90 degrees plus theta times sine of negative theta minus 180. So we have cos of 180 minus. So this is our quadrant. We are on the second quadrant. So sine is positive, but this is cos. So we're going to have negative cos theta times, here we have cos of 90 degrees minus. And then we know that whenever you have cos of 90 degrees plus theta or you have sine of 90 degrees plus theta. Sine is going to change into cos, and cos is going to change into sine. This is called a co ratio, where a co-ratio like sine changes into another co-ratio like cos. So this only happens between sine and cosine. So we have 90 degrees minus, so this is the first quadrant. So cos is positive, but then cos is going to change into sine, so we will be having sine theta, all divided by, we have again sine of 90 degrees plus. So 90 degrees plus is the second quadrant where sine is positive, but this sine is going to change into cos, so we will be having cos theta multiplied by, now this is in a form that we are not used to. It is actually a negative angle. So in order for us to deal with a negative angle, we need to simplify it. I'm going to deal with this on the side. So we have sine of negative theta minus 180 degrees. We are going to take out the negative sign. This is since it is a common factor. So we will be having sine of the bigger bracket, and then we take out the negative sign. We will be having minus into, when you take negative from negative, you get positive theta plus 180 degrees. I hope you can see this. Sine of into negative positive theta plus 180 degrees. Because when you multiply this negative by positive, you'll get negative theta, negative times positive, you get negative 180. So again, this negative is going to affect our sign. Remember that sign can be affected by a negative number, so we will be having negative sine of, now we are going to rewrite this in a manner that we are used to. We are going to have an angle come first before our theta, so we'll be having positive 180 degrees plus, this theta is positive, plus theta, and then we can deal with it. So we have sine of 180 plus tangent is positive, not sine, so we will be having negative into negative sine theta, and then this negative will multiply with this negative and we will have positive sine theta. So the answer to this is a positive sine theta. So I need you to forget about this negative sign for a while. So we have cos theta times sine theta as our numerator, then we have cos theta times sine theta as our denominator. So they are the same terms, meaning it's the same as having 1 divided by 1, which is equal to 1, right? But then the numerator is negative, so we'll be having negative 1. So we're going to have, or the other way to say it is, the denominator is going to cancel with the numerator and we will be left with negative 1, which is the answer that we got when we were checking what we would get if we replace our theta with 30 degrees. So we know that we got our simplification right. So there's no way people can get zeros from these problems, because you can always check whether or not you are doing the correct methods. Because if we didn't get negative 1, then if I didn't get negative 1, then I would know that I did some errors, then I would have to go back and correct them. So this is free marks. Nobody should get these things wrong because they are relatively easy compared to other problems in trigonometry. So thank you for watching.
It's easy to see when you look at me. If you look closely, Mystic don't back down. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so that you can get that A in mathematics.
Leave a comment down below if you have a question. Mystic will make sure you get the answer.
Leave a like and share this video with your friends, so that we can all be good. Thank you for watching.